Hi everyone, Ariel with Arielpaints. Today's tip is going to be about special requests on the job, how I handle them, what special requests I will do, what exceptions I'll make, and if there's something I really don't want to paint, how I get out of it in a professional way. So whether you're a brand new face painter or you're a seasoned professional, stick around and I'll tell you what I do on the job. Getting special requests on the job as a face painter is just par for the course. It's going to happen. And I love to entertain them when I have the bandwidth for it. If it's a small party and I've got plenty of time, I'm more likely to say yes to a special request or try to accommodate it. But if it's a really large event, especially that's free to the public, I say hard no's, no special requests. So let's start by talking about the free to the public events. If I get a special request at that event that is anything beyond just like hearts or stars, like incredibly simple, I answer with, no, I'm sorry, we're only doing the designs on the board. Whether that be a word board or a picture board, whatever you bring to show your designs, I simply say, nope, sorry, not today, you have to pick something from the offerings. Because if I do a custom request for one kid, then I'm opening the door to do them for all the different kids that come up. So I shut it down pretty quickly. And if they kind of push it, I say, no, I'm sorry, I don't have time. You're going to have to pick something from the board. If I do something custom for you, I'll have to do it for everyone. I haven't had a lot of trouble with that either. I feel like kids pretty much understand and we can come up with something on the board they like, or they already have it in the back of their mind. Usually they'll very quickly go, okay, Among Us, because they already wondered if I was going to say no. So they usually spit it out quickly and I get them painted and then get them out of my chair. So not a huge deal. Now, if it's a public event and it's paper face, or it's even a little slower, and I get a request that is for something that either gives me like that immediate dread feeling, like, oh, I hate the way I paint this, or I've never painted this before. For example, specific animals for me are my dread, right? Someone says elephant or a sloth or a monkey, a full face monkey, and I immediately, my stomach twists and I'm like, oh, I don't want to paint that, right? And that feeling is different for everyone. Some people get that same dread feeling when someone asks for a butterfly. And if a butterfly is not on your board and not part of your offerings, you're allowed to say, nope, we're not doing butterflies today. That's an okay response, like you have to do what's comfortable for you. So whatever that pain point is, stick to your guns and don't paint it. Because if you paint something that you ultimately don't like and that kid is walking away with something that you deem horrific on your face, you're going to regret saying yes. So here's one of the ways I kind of get out of it, right? So for example, the monkey, the full face monkey. Little kid comes up to me at even a private event, public event, whatever it is, and says, I want a monkey. I want a full face monkey. And I say, oh, okay, are you sure that's what you want? Let me show you a picture. And I get out my phone that is always with me. It's either hanging in my kit or it's in my pocket. And I look up full face monkey face painting. I do an image search and I find what I deem to be a realistic on-the-job version of a monkey face paint that I could get done in about 3 minutes. Now, keep in mind that within those images, there are different tiers of a monkey full face picture, right? So you've got the very quick, terrible version, you've got that mediocre on the job version, and then there's some beautiful, amazing full face editorial monkey that someone did that took them a half an hour or more. Don't show the kid that picture. Also, when you're looking at the images, make sure to click on the one that you deem to be a realistic version of that monkey that you could do in the 2 to 3 minutes, blow that image up and show it to the kid and say, this is what the full face monkey looks like. Is this what you want? I would say 99% of the time when I show kids that specific design, they go, oh, no, I don't think so. I'll take the dinosaur or whatever it is I painted on the kid before, right? So I also, if the parent is there, I show the parent. And I will say things like, the monkey's not the cutest design. It's a lot of brown on your face and it kind of looks like a monkey, but it doesn't. Here's what it would look like. Every now and then a kid goes, yep, that's exactly what I want. I want to look like a monkey. And I go, okay. And if the parent's given me the thumbs up, like, yep, that's what he says he wants, I will paint them pretty close to that image. Oftentimes, if I have a little bit of time or I know I can improve on it slightly, I'll make it a little bit better so that the version they're leaving with is as good as that image or a little bit elevated. But that way I am managing expectations right off the bat. I will not paint something on a kid that they don't have an idea of what they're going to walk away looking like. Especially if it's something that I don't feel confident in painting and I think it could be bad. So that's one way that I manage that situation. Okay, so another request that I get all the time, and this applies to private and public events, is sports logos, right? Inevitably, some kid's gonna come up to you and they're gonna want the graphically designed logo of their favorite sports team. Couple problems with this. One, I'm not into sports. I never know who they're talking about. Two, they're graphically designed. They're layered images. They're very precise. The chances of you being able to hand paint a logo on someone's arm or cheek, not great. So I simply say, oh, okay, well, that's a graphically designed image, and face paint and digital art are very, very different, so I can't paint that on you. But I could do a football. I could do a football with flames. We could do just, if they're asking me for the Kansas City Chiefs logo, which I've actually painted a bunch of times. It's not the hardest one of all of them, right? But even at a busy event, I don't want to do it. So I simply say, oh, we can do a K and a C. We can make it red. We can outline it in gold. How's that, right? You got to dumb it down a little bit for them. Do not just agree because you feel like you have to say yes. Give them an alternative and say, I can't do that. It would take me 20 minutes to get it right, and I don't want you to be disappointed with the 2-minute version of it. So what can we do instead? Find a compromise. And usually they will help you find a compromise. Or I've had kids over the years all the time go, oh, well, can you put this number on me instead? That's the number of my favorite player. Absolutely. What colors do you want it in? There's your compromise. So find a way to make that request work for the kid and you. But do not just say yes to things because you feel obligated to say yes. You will regret it. And in the beginning, this was harder for me. I had to figure out my own script and ways to talk to kids and get them to understand it wasn't going to look good. And thank goodness for Google Image. I don't know what we did before we had cell phones in our pocket, because I use that all the time as my go-to, and it really helps. The other thing to keep in mind that I did mention briefly is if the parents are around, show the parents. Say, okay, he wants the monkey, this is what it looks like, right? And the parents will either give you that thumbs up or they will help you. So I have had some weird requests over the years, and a couple times when I've done just that, right? I find the image and I go, this is what it's gonna look like, and I show the parent and they can see that the elephant is just gonna be this big gray weird thing going all over their face. The parents will help you. My cat just jumped off the table and rammed her head into it. Elegant, I mean. So the parents will be your advocate too, because they don't want to walk around with their kid with just a gray face and no one knowing what they are. So they will quickly go, oh, we have church tomorrow. I don't think you should do a full face. Let's just do the little Among Us character or whatever it is, right? In the end, just make sure you are communicating. That is half the battle. Don't freeze and just say, okay, and then start panicking and freaking out and then paint something awful on some kid's face, which I've done 100 times, mind you, right? We all learn from our mistakes. Be an advocate for yourself and the child. Stand up for your business because you don't want to be sending kids away with something horrific on their face, and stand up for them too. You don't want them to be walking around with something on their face that people go, what are you? What are you? It's mortifying for you. It's not fun for them in the end. So at private events, I tend to have more bandwidth for special requests. I will pick a little bit of a nicer photo from that Google image search, right? Because I usually have more like a 5 to 8 minute window for each kid rather than like a 2 to 3 minute window. So I'm a little bit more lenient on what I will say yes to or what I will try. But I'm also realistic. If I know I can't paint something well on a child, or if I'm even double guessing myself, I will steer them towards something else because I know it's going to make me incredibly uncomfortable. And I'm not just there to be a people pleaser, I'm there to do a good job. And part of me doing a good job is making sure that the kids have something on their face that they can be proud of and that their parents are going to be excited about because they're the ones paying me. So in the end, stick up for yourself, be an advocate, communicate, and you will always like the design that is walking away from you, and you will have no regrets. I hope this tip helped. Please tell me if you're a brand new face painter, has this happened to you? Have you freaked out? What did you paint on a kid that you were like, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have painted that? And if you're a seasoned professional, tell me your tips. What do you do? What do you say to those special requests? Do you always do them? Do you always say hard no? Or do you have a line that you use over and over again that really works for you? I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.